Hi, my name is Ben Jordan. I work for the Ottawa Conservation District. Today we're going to be showing you a quick video about beach grass, why it's important, and some tips and tricks on how to actually plant it on your property. Michigan sand dunes are an incredibly unique and important feature in our natural landscape, and we actually have the biggest collection of freshwater sand dunes in the entire world. We have about 225,000 acres of sand dunes here, and about 74,000 of that is designated by the state as critical dune area. Not only are they cool and fun to hike on and climb on and look at, they also provide a wealth of habitat for a ton of cool biodiverse plant and animal species in Michigan, including some endangered and threatened species like the piping plover, the prairie warbler, and plants like the pitcher's thistle. So the bottom line is they're important to protect, keep them around and keep them intact. Now we can do that one of two different ways. One, we can reduce our impact on these dunes and reduce some of the activities on them. We do that in a few different ways on critical dunes, and if you live in a critical dune area, the state of Michigan actually has some requirements and requires a permit to do any sort of construction there. But another good way to do it is to stabilize these areas with native vegetation. So the reason that we're talking about beach grass today is because it tends to be the dominant ground cover in a lot of Michigan sand dunes. And the nice thing for property owners is it's easy to plant, it's cheap to plant, and it's incredibly hardy. It has a thick, long, durable stem, a long root system that can establish just about anywhere in the dune areas. And it's not only good at holding the ground underneath the plant in place, but it's also good at collecting some of that sand that's blowing up the dune as well. So it's great for erosion, and it's great to provide long-term stability so other species can then come in and fill some of those areas and provide further habitat. So I think it's time to take a look at our site. All right, so this is our demonstration site. An Ottawa County resident was kind enough to let us use their property to plant some new dune grass. This isn't a completely bare site, but you can notice that there are some more sparsely vegetated areas. So the goal is to kind of just fill those in and further stabilize this site. So if you're planting a whole new area, we would recommend usually about a 12 to 18 inch spacing if the area is relatively flat. If you're getting higher wind erosion or you're on a steeper slope like the back end of a dune, then we might recommend a 12 or lower inch spacing. Sometimes if it's on a really steep slope, up to about a 6 to 8 inch spacing to get kind of that maximum stability. So you can see this area, these plants are spaced about 12 to 18 inches apart, which I think is perfect for a location like this. So essentially what we're going to do is just pick out some of these more sparse areas and plant a new plug. All right, so I've picked out a few spots to plant these dune grass plugs. Typically what you'll use to do this is something like a broom handle, a wooden stake, or we have these nice tree planting bars that work well too. You want to try to get your holes about 9 or 10 inches into the ground. The end of this is exactly 10 inches, which is perfect for our purposes. So we're going to pick out our area. We're going to make a nice hole. And then we recommend planting two individual stems of dune grass into each of these holes. And then what we're going to do is the last step is tightly pack the sand back around the plant itself. And I'm just going to plant a couple more of these plugs in this area. One tip that we like to tell people, if you're covering a bigger area, and again, if it's more of a bare site as opposed to just filling some spots in, it's nice to work with a team of up to about 2 people. And then if you're doing a slope, it's nice to work from one end to the other. So either work from the top down or the bottom up, and that way you're not constantly walking back and forth over the plants that you've already planted. I think that just about does it. we'll kind of just pick a few more spots around here, and then we'll just plant some more dune grass. All right, so as you can see, it's pretty easy to get these plants in the ground. Just a couple of tips for maintenance and long-term care. One thing that's important to note is that it's best to plant dune grass around October. You can plant it from about October through April. It's not the best idea to try to plant it in the hot summer. It's not the best idea to plant it in the hot summer months. Occasionally, it will require a little bit of watering if, again, you're dealing with a hot, dry summer. And as far as fertilizer, we usually recommend about 1.5 pounds per 1,000 square feet, usually about 30 days or so after the initial planting. And if you notice in a couple of years that some of the dune grass isn't spreading as well as it could be and might look a little weaker than it could be, you could explore further fertilization as well. All right, I think that just about covers it. Thanks for watching the video, and get out there and plant some dune grass. If you're interested in purchasing some dune grass, you can do so as part of our native plant sale at ottawacd.org. All of the information about the grass with pricing and ordering info is on the website. The orders are due September 21st, and pickup for the native plants is September 26th at Hemlock Crossing Park in Ottawa County.